What's happening, APLers? Here with a Week 7 preview. First, we'll go through a quick rundown of what happened last week, go through each of the matchups for this week, and then stay tuned or fast forward to a special message at the end of the presentation here today, or the preview today. So we'll look at last week. Let's see. So sorry, the creative juices were not flowing on a winner's pick this week. So we just went with Ryan's trio here that scores a lot of points. Apparently, ChatGPT still believes Christian McCaffrey plays for the Panthers, but we'll go from there. So week 6 results. Daggy sneaks one out over Greg, winning by 11 points. And it was a few weeks ago. Whenever I played Greg, where he told me he was just cursed. And I believed him at the time. I paid more attention to it over the last few weeks, and now I really believe him. For example, this week he had, I don't know, he was down by not a lot going into the afternoon, like the end of the afternoon games. And the Lions got 2 drives. He has Goff and Laporta. He gets 2 drives. And the drives resulted in 1 pass for 9 yards to Sam Laporta. That was it. Other than that, the drives netted 0 points for Greg. So if they can complete like 1 more pass, like they're behind by a ton. They need to pass the ball. They're playing garbage time points. It should just happen, but it doesn't. So pretty firm believer in what Greg's been talking about here. So he did get a nice kicker whisper 182-point game from Eddie Pinheiro. On the Daggy side, does enough to get by Stafford. A down game, gets over 100 points from each of his running backs. Lab McConkey shows up, and he almost matches the Eddie Pinheiro 182 with a 173 from Cameron Dicker. So nice one from Daggy there, moves him to 3-3. Look at the standings there in a minute. Solomon stays hot, like super hot. Crushes Corey here. Corey puts up a good week, 11-16. This is not bad. Drake May, nice game, 369. Drake London, huge on Monday night, 188. He's got a nice 104 from Olave. Pretty nice week from Corey. But Rico Dowdle showed up again. I think I said last week that Dowdle's not going to top this 257 that he had the week before. Yeah, he did. 263 this week. Jonathan Taylor continues to be a monster. Trey McBride really liked Jacoby Brissett throwing them the ball instead of Kyler Murray. He was 142, or sorry, 172. 142 is Boswell. Was this kicker. So just a huge week from Solomon. 1,367 points for one over Corey. Almost catching up to the huge week from Solomon is Ryan. He beats the shit out of Ross. Ross scores like almost 1,200 points and still loses by over 100. So it's pretty rough. Ross gets good games. Had a big Scatterwood game that we talked about. Kendrick Bourne, again, 142 yards receiving for the second week in a row. Jake Tunges gets 122. Jaden Waddle's the leader there, 110. Jaden has 322. So good week. 200 points. 1193 should win most of the time, but not this week. Not against Mahomes, McCaffrey, Bijan, Jamar Chase, JSN, and Brian Thomas. All good games. Bijan with 264. Mahomes with 391. JSN with 190. Like Ryan doesn't even need a tight end or a kicker. It's 15 points total out of tight end and kicker. Still scores 13-17. Scary. Today takes down Tank. Another injury-riddled week for Tank here. Loses Puka and Garrett Wilson. In their games, Puka left kind of early. Garrett Wilson, I think, played half. Other than it got some injuries, running backs were not great for Tank. Kelsey with 162 is a bright spot, but 856, not great. Today, Dallas Goedert, 249. I already talked about that. Achan After I was just talking about him not having any great runs, rips off a 49-yard touchdown run early in that game. Looked good. And Baker did Baker things with no weapons. So 1,100 points for Sade. Gets the job done. Beats Tank. Similar here between me and Jake. The Falcons defense just put the clamps down on the Bills. So Jake needed some Bills stuff to happen on Monday night with Allen Cook and Dawson Knox, and Atlanta held him in check and controlled the ball. Henry did some stuff, had 131, not a monster game to beat me like he normally does. And then DK was good again. On my side, Herbert 335 is acceptable. Josh Jacobs and George Pickens were mostly the story here, along with Tyler Warren. So Jacobs shreds the Cincinnati defense. That was projected, hoped, expected from him. Pickens goes wild. 197 against the Panthers. So kind of CD would stay longer. And then Tyler Warner just been really good, steady with his 152 points, so 6 for 63 and a touchdown there. So get the win there. So looking at the standings here. I added my predictions. I went 5-0 last week, and I'm 18-7 on the season. I did not do predictions in week 1 that I found, but I might be lazy and I just might have texted them out, but I don't remember. But that's weeks 2 through 6, 18-7 on the season. So look at the standings over in the Ross division. Solomon moves into first place with Tank losing the last 2 games with his pile of injuries. So Solomon's 5-1, second most points in the league, looking really good. Tank's more than 2. Like I said, lost the last 2. Hoping to get the injury bug stopped and get some of these guys back to get back in contention here. Jake and Daggy both 3-3. They have a big showdown this week to see who's gonna take that spot, possibly move into second, depending what happens with Tank. And then Ross is at 2-4 with a big matchup with Solomon. Down in the other division, Ryan and I are both 4-2. Ryan's got the first place tiebreaker because he beat me, and better divisional record, and just a better team and scoring a lot of points. Today's 3-3, Corey 2-4, Greg 0-6. So with that, we will move into the matchups for this week. So first one we're going to cover is Greg versus Ryan. So go through some Greg stuff first. Make it quick, Greg. So Goff gets the Bucks on Monday night. Good matchup. Bucks pass defense. Bucks run defense, excellent, which makes people pass. So that should be good for Goff. Should have to pass a lot. Judkins, another good matchup. Dolphins, really, really bad against the run. Probably the worst in the league. Everybody has shredded them. They're the second worst in the league. But they got crushed by everybody. Kamani Vidal last week. Dowdle the week before. Brees Hall the week before that. James Cook the week before that. Ramondre and Jonathan Taylor. They've had a running back go over 100 points every week on them this season. So it'll be Judkins this week. It's supposed to be bad weather too, so that probably helps him go. Kamara against the Bears. Another game that's supposed to be bad weather. Still have a lot of good things to say about Kamara this season. He's got 1 game over 100 points. Not really getting that many touches, but sure. Bears run defense isn't good, so we'll play the matchup. Devontae Adams should be good. Going to get more passes, should get more targets with Puka out. Should be fine. Really like that spot. DJ Morgan's the Saints. He was in the state overnight for some reason on after the game on Monday night, but he'll be fine and play this week. This is acquired in the trade from Ryan. Not a huge fan of this one. It should be bad weather in Chicago. But I guess you got DJ Moore, Rashid Shaheed. So take your choice of bad weather. Devonta Smith against the Vikings. Sure, I read something or saw something. The Vikings have been really good against receivers, only allowing like 36 receptions total so far this year to wide receivers. So maybe not a great spot. Rondé Gadsden gets the start at tight end after Sam Laporta was traded to Ryan. He's good last week. He's been like the passing game guy, but we'll just stop there because Ryan's team is ridiculous. So you get Pat Mahomes, gets the Raiders. I think the only question about this one is, do they have to just stop because they're beating him so bad? So Mahomes is at 363. McCaffrey gets the Falcons. And Bijan gets the 49ers. So our running backs are playing each other here. Falcons have been good against the run. The defense has been good in general. They've not allowed 100 points to anybody. McCaffrey gets 100 points every week. His low in the season is 133. So kind of think he's still going to get 100 points. Bijan has just been absurd. 49ers are in the middle of the pack for rush defense. And it's in Fred Warner. We'll see how that works out this week. But feel like excellent about both those guys. Jamar Chase gets 16 catches on 23 targets on Thursday night, 197 points. Joe Flacco knows where to throw the ball. Just scary. Rashee Rice comes back from trying to do bad things with his car. Lots of hype on Rashee and how he is going to be a turbo smash with this offense. Just that's going to turn into the run game and be everything it was last year before Mahomes blew out his knee. So excited to see him play and see him go. So Ryan gets the Mahomes Rice stack here. JSN has been ridiculous all season. So another great spot here. Texans are better against the pass the most. Gets Stingley, but 94 points is his low. Otherwise, he's well over 100 every other game. So feel great about JSN. And as I mentioned in the scores from the previous week, Laporta is the fill here because tight end has not been great for Ryan. So Laporta's got 209, 135 the last 2 weeks, gets the Bucks on Monday night. Should be good. So this is all Ryan. Ryan's going to crush in this one. So 1,020 for Greg, 1,371 for Ryan. Projected of 1,371. So like maybe you could take like 70 points off of that because normally when you're not going to project Chase to score 197, you might project him to score 127, but you're still projecting 1,300 points here for Ryan. Good luck, all of us. All right, next matchup, we get Tank with the bye week juiced up DeAndre Swift against Corey. So Tank's 4-2, Corey's 2-4. Tank has Caleb Williams gone. Mentioned before, there's been lots of hype about the weather in Chicago tomorrow not being great. So we'll see if that impacts, see if that's real. A lot of times the weather is hyped up to be a big deal, and it turns out not to be a big deal, but the weather is a concern. Caleb has been fine this season. Saints are not great against the pass. Not the worst, not the best, but not great. So probably a good spot there. Jahmyr Gibbs gets the Bucks Monday night. It's a tougher spot. Bucks are pretty good against the run. I'm wrong. That's what I've been told. Been lied to. It's still Gibbs. He's still good. DeAndre Swift gets the Saints. That's fun. So DeAndre Swift has done not much until last week. 197 last week, 108 on the ground, 67 through the air. It's a Saint, so gets the start here for Tank. Maybe it's a sloppy game, maybe it's a lot of running. Just some concern about some type of injury for Swift, groin, but he'll play. Wide receiver, the only person's wide receivers that look a little shakier than this are mine. So Addison gets the Eagles. Sure, it's fine. Cooper Cup against the Texans. We'd probably like to not be starting Cooper Cup at this point in Cooper Cup's career, but injuries suck real bad. And then Tank picked up Luke McCaffrey today with Debo being out. Maybe McCaffrey fills that spot and gets the Cowboys pass defense, which is really not good. So potential good spot there. Kelsey against the Raiders. Sure, will be interesting to see if Rashee Rice takes away some of the Kelsey volume that Kelsey's been getting. So Kelsey's been pretty good. 101, 149, 162 the last 3 weeks. Couple that with a couple 100+ point games early in the year. Not quite vintage Kelsey, but very good tight end numbers. So jump over to the Corey side of the ball. I get Drake May against the Titans. I think this is similar to Mahomes. Do we how much are we really going to need to pass? But Drake May had that last week against the Saints. Turned out the Saints held the game pretty close. So Drake May played the whole game. Had to play the whole game. Had to pass the whole game. So maybe the Titans can do the same as the Patriots travel down there. Maybe they can't, and Vrabel doesn't care. And Vrabel runs up the score on the guys that fired him. But May's been good. He's been like over 300 points every week, so should feel comfortable there. Saquon against the Vikings. Vikings run defense is definitely the spot to attack them. Passing D has been pretty good. We'll see if Saquon can get more than, let's see, last week he had 14 touches. He had 9 the week before that, 23 the week before that, 22 the week before that. So I think the game plan would be we're going to run all over these guys with Saquon. So I like that spot. Montgomery is the second running back here with Chuba playing, but we're not really sure if it's Chuba or Rico. It's probably Rico. So we'll take a wait and see mode here and go with Montgomery, who's been fine. And there's lots of talk this week about Montgomery. He wants to get Campbell wants to get Montgomery more carries. Wide receivers are fun. Drake London looks good. Olave is going to get like all the passes. There's a lot of targets. I say that every week. Again, crappy weather here. In Amonra, it's just Amonra. It's really good. Tucker Craft. It's been solid. 108, 117, you had a 274 in there. And got to feel good about the Cardinals in that matchup there. So overall, I think I like Corey's shot here a little better. May should be fine. Barkley should crush. The receivers are really good. On Tank's side, get excited about Gibbs, and that's about it. So we get Corey with a little under a 59-point margin of victory here for Corey. All right, next matchup is Jake against Daggy. So as mentioned before, this is a good one over in the old Ross division to see who gets the spot here. On the Jake side, the headline is Jake is on bye this week. Josh Allen on bye, James Cook on bye, and Derrick Henry on bye. So really good at the bye week this week. And we'll see if Daggy can take advantage of that. So Jake rolls with Aaron Rodgers as the free agent pickup for the quarterback this week, and he gets 338 on Thursday night against the Bengals. So I think Jake's probably happy with that score from Rodgers. Gets a big boost there from that 68-yard touchdown to Freiermuth in the fourth quarter, where then Rodgers was tackled and was not happy about it after that. Running back, we get Kareem Hunt going. Maybe Emmanuel Wilson if Jacobs doesn't play this week. That would be a nice little boost there for Jake. Don't have too many good things to say about Kareem Hunt. He's splitting time kind of with Pacheco. It's like fine, probably good for 50-ish points. Kamani Vidal, maybe not. I don't surprise might be the wrong word, but he's the guy who got all the work last week instead of Haskins for the Chargers. And Vidal looked pretty good. He caught a bunch of passes, 3 if you count 3 as a bunch, and 124 yards on the ground. So nice free agent pickup here. Jake spends a fair amount of his money to acquire Vidal, and he should be good for the next few weeks. AJ Brown against the Vikings. As kind of mentioned with Devonta, that I'm not sure if that's a great matchup, but seems like AJ Brown's kind of been crabby lately about his role and not getting the ball. So maybe this is a squeaky wheel scenario. JJ against the Eagles, sure. Wentz is playing, so that's got to be good for Mr. Jefferson. DK goes on Thursday night, gets 53. Probably hoping for more from there. And then Kincaid also on bye this week for Jake, and gets Mr. Ferguson gets the call here. And this is similar to Kelsey. What's Kelsey going to do with Rashee Rice coming back? What's Ferguson's role with CeeDee Lamb coming back? So does CeeDee get a bunch of the targets that Ferguson's been getting, but maybe not as strong of a play as he was in the past, but should still be fine. On the Daggy side of the ball, we had Stafford against the Jaguars over in London, Germany. I don't know. They're playing at 8:30 in the morning tomorrow. So Stafford has been the guy for Daggy here for the last few weeks. The Jags really not good against defending the pass. So good spot. Seems like the Jags can score some points and keep it interesting. So Stafford has to throw the ball. Concerning that there's no Puka though. That is the drawback. Rachaad White gets the Lions defense. Rachaad White been doing a nice job with the Bucky Irving impression here. 115 and 109 in the last 2 weeks. Lions rush defense has been solid, but gets work in the passing game, so should be fine. Kyron gets the Jags. Kyron's been good too. 169 2 weeks ago, 109 last week. Jake's rush defense a little tougher. So CD comes back, gets the Commanders. It'll be fun to get CD back in the lineup. Commanders pass defense should be fine. Should be a good spot for him to come back. Ladd McConkey showed up last week with Quentin Johnston out, so see if that continues to be a thing. That Herbert remembered that McConkey is good or not. Seems like a good spot. The Colts Chargers game on paper looks like a lot of fun. On the other side of the ball there, he has Michael Pittman, who seems like the only healthy receiver. They have, I think they're 2 and 3, maybe 2 and 4 receivers are out. So Pittman should get his fair share of the work there. 70 seems like it could be more than that. And then we get Ertz back in the lineup this week. Diggy spent $25 on AJ Barner this week, who's had like 153, 145 the last 2 weeks, but he has not cracked the lineup with Ertz. It's one of the only healthy pass catchers for the Commanders going against the rotten Cowboys defense. So that's why Ertz is in the lineup. Seems like a good spot. So when you add things all up here, you have Daggy with a little over. He's got a 52-point margin of victory here over Jake. So I think the bye week has an impact on Jake here, and Daggy sneaks out a win with getting CD back and a few better matchups. All right, next matchup is me and Sade. So Dak been playing real well lately. Is at the quarterback spot for Sade. Commanders, not good at pass defense. This game should be a shootout. The over-under is like 53.5. It's Dak at home. Yeah. Should be a big spot for Dak. He's got all his weapons healthy. As we mentioned, CD's back. Really, really, really good spot. Achane against the Browns. Tougher matchup for Achane. On the ground, the Browns are tough, but Achane gets to work in the passing game, so we should be just fine. Might be some bad weather. We'll see. Javonte against Commanders. Seems like another good spot. Like I said, this game should just be like a ton of points. Not a lot of defense scored. Commander seems susceptible to the run. And Javonte's been good. So really like that spot. Other than last week, Javonte's been good. Wide receivers are interesting here. Tataroa, McMillan gets Ahmad, Sauce Gardner, who's done a nice job lately, shutting down his dudes. So maybe it's a tougher spot for McMillan. Sterling Shepard is going to do his Emeka Ibuka impression here. Today might be Ibuka's a game time decision, so maybe this is a I'll start Shepard, or I will be able to swap in Ibuka if he plays here too. And then Xavier Worthy in an offense that is opened up by Rashee Rice against the Raiders. Seems like a nice spot. Dallas Goedert fills in with Brock Bowers being 2 weeks away because the Raiders have the bye week next week, and it sounds like Bowers will be back. But Goddard has been solid, filling in for Bowers here. Obviously, the big game last week. So let's see if the Eagles' passing game chooses to feature Goddard with our corners potentially shutting down the wide receivers. So overall, I think it looks pretty strong. The wide receiver spot, maybe a little bit of a concern with Shepard there, but the good news for today is he's playing me. So I get Herbert against the Colts at home. The Chargers have no offensive line, basically. It might be worse than last week, but hoping for a high scoring game here, and Herbert has to play catch up or at least keep the score close. ETN, he's healthy. That's like a plus for my team right now. Gets the Rams. Rams are tougher against the run. Get to play it Sunday morning, which is stupid. Jacobs against the Cardinals. True game time decision. Has something going on with his calf. And his tummy hurts or something. Said he was throwing up all week last week during the game, like on the field. So that's cool. So Jacobs doesn't play. It's not great at running back. So we're just hopeful that Jacobs plays. George Pickens, we're just hoping all the Dak stuff goes to Pickens here. It's not going to, but we'll hope for a big chunk of it because Pickens is really the only thing I have going at wide receiver. Currently, a Luther Burden in the other receiver, and then Whittington maybe taking the Puka spot here against the Jags, another Sunday morning game, or another guy in the Sunday morning game here. So not great. They're the second and third wide receiver spots. Tyler Warren is in that Chargers Colts game that we hope is high scoring, and he's been really good. So we'll hope for a bigger game than 132. So we add them all up here, and we have today coming out on top. Not by a lot, but enough. It'll be today. The team's in shambles this week with injuries. All right, in the rivalry week this week, the trash talk has been going strong between Kevin and Solomon all week. So we get Ross at 2-4, Solomon at 5-1. So Solomon wins this one. Solomon moves to 6-1. Ross moves to 2-5. Does this potentially start a fire sale for Ross if Solomon can put him away this week? Is it the final nail in the coffin where Ross says, I've had enough? So Ross is Jaden Daniels against the Cowboys, who can't play defense at all, but he doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to that might be any good. So it's a concern. Still a good spot. Just can the guys we've never really heard of or seen do anything, do things. Genty gets the Chiefs. Chiefs defense has woke up the last couple of weeks. Tough spot. Scadaboo gets the Broncos. Another tough spot. Broncos run defense is pretty solid, but Scadaboo gets the ball all over the place. So maybe. Kendrick Bourne seems to be the number one receiver right now for San Fran. The Falcons are messing around though. AJ Terrell, he's shutting down Kendrick Bourne. Not sure, maybe it's Jawan Jennings that draws his coverage, but don't have a lot of high hope for the 49ers pass game this week against the Falcons. Nico's back off a bye. Put him in against the Seahawks. Seahawks secondary is getting healthy, so maybe that's a lower upside than I might have hoped for. Marv comes back after doesn't even miss a game with his concussion and draws the Packers defense there. So Brissett playing is probably good for Marv, but still a little scary. Kittle is alive and well. back for the Falcons game. We have two 49ers pass catchers going against the Falcons, but it's got to be fun to get Kittle back in the field. It'd be fun to watch him on Sunday night to see if that can energize that 49ers passing game. The Solomon side of the ball, we get Jordan Love at Arizona. I think this falls into the same discussion as we had with Mahomes and Drake May. Does Love need to pass a lot? We hope he does, because then that means more points. His like he passed 26 times last week, so 314 points. If we can get that pass attempts into the 30s, you'd think that that'd be a lot better. I'm not convinced that the Cardinals can do it, but maybe Brissett holds it closer. Rico Dowdle, Canales has said, yeah, we know who we're going to give the ball to, but we're not telling you. It's probably Rico Dowdle. He's just done too much the last couple of weeks to not give him the ball. Jets run defense is a really good matchup. Jonathan Taylor gets the Chargers. Another really good matchup. The matchup is good, and the player is good. He's just on the field all the time, like we talked about last week. So great spot. Solomon sticking with Matthew Golden, despite Quentin Johnston being healthy, not on the injury report. T. Higgins went for 122 against the Steelers on Thursday night, so maybe that draws some confidence to put Higgins back in the lineup, but just feels like we're still hoping for Golden to be more of a featured wide receiver than he has been so far, but I don't know if the Packers do that. Odunze should have had a touchdown last week that got called back for an illegal formation. He's in potentially again the bad weather game. Sorry for repeating that a million times, but might limit the upside. And then JMO against the Bucks on Monday night. Sounds fun. They gotten him more involved with passes that are closer to the line of scrimmage in the last few weeks. He had 92 points last week, 6 catches, 7 targets, and a touchdown. So maybe they're getting him rolling. McBride, great. Love it. He's just good. I think I say that every week. But 11 targets from Brissett last week. It's kind of cool to have a guy that can see over the line of scrimmage, but it's just really good. So put it all together here, and we have Solomon with a 63-point margin of victory here over us. So that's all I have. I'll hand it off now to Solomon for a special message.
Oh, hello, Kevy. I'm sure you're gearing up for our big matchup this week, Rivalry Week, as I am. All rivalries aside, you are a friend of mine, a good friend. And what you did last year was impressive, no doubt. Winning the APL championship, lifelong journey for you. None of us thought you would do it, but you did. Nobody, and I mean nobody, believed you could. As a friend, I wanted to find a way to honor what you had done, because it's such an impressive feat. And I thought, how can I do it in the position that I have at Molson? And I thought, well, listen, he's a champion. The champagne and the champion of beers, I would say, is High Life. So what can I do? I called in a few friends and was able to do a little something just for you, Kevy. They were good enough to pull together a commemorative bottle just for you. The neck label has your tagline of Believe Dat. The body label has your image decked out in your Kirko gear. And on the other side, it has 2024 APL champion with your team name decently locked in, your record, and the victories in the semis and the finals, all deserving to commemorate your championship. And as a sort of added twist, I figured, give this to Kevy, but also, as you know, High Life has always been the sidecar when it comes to Bloody Marys, things like that. It's a Wisconsin thing. It's a worldwide thing, yeah? I figured, let's do the reverse. I wanted to give you this, but I also wanted to give you a sidecar of something that I think really means a lot to you. Bottle of Febreze, just to help manage through your stank assness. So this is what I was going to do for you as a friend. But then I thought about it, and something really, really important hit me. You know what hit me, Kevy? Kevy ain't shit. And the fact that Kevy ain't shit means that I cannot, in good consciousness, give this to him. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to put this amazing bottle of High Life in my refrigerator next to the other bottles of High Life, Blue Moon, Miller Lite, Coors Light, all the amazing products in our portfolio that I have in my refrigerator. And tomorrow, I'm going to drink it and drink a few other High Lifes, a few other products, just have a great time. And as I sit there and watch my team piss all over your stank ass team, I will feel compelled to piss myself. And I will do my best to put my piss back into this bottle. And then I will cap it. And then I will send it back to you. Because that is what you deserve, Kevy. Good luck tomorrow, Playboy. God, just talking about you got my sanctuary stanking. Shit.